because you have to set the example. So anyways, that's how they're trying to justify it. And part of it is because they're really scared now because the polls post-trial have now come out in the last week. Did the conviction really affect the election? And here's Fox News talking about this. And it's not good.
Trump simply cannot beat President Joe Biden, relying solely on the votes of people who think his legal travails are a politically motivated scam.
MAGA Republicans have been trying to publicly spin Donald.
This is Pondering Politics. Let me skip ahead a little bit. Let me have him just introduce this.
But again, polls and a Fox News host beg to differ. We're going to start with this clip here in which Fox News host Shannon Bream has an exchange with Republican Senator Tim Scott on this very topic.
Shannon.
Okay, so let's talk about this. The Republican spin on this has been it's going to motivate your base, that angry voters are motivated voters, and they are angry about this verdict. But Politico adds this, saying Trump simply cannot beat President Joe Biden, relying solely on the votes of people who think his legal travails are a politically motivated scam. Trump's only path to victory is a coalition that includes many Republicans and independents who find him deplorable, but think a second Biden term would be even more so. So what is the plan from President Trump to reach out to people who may not love him at this point? Maybe some Nikki Haley voters, independents, others who are skeptics, other than the grievances. What about campaigning on policy and reaching out?
So that was kind of the
What about policy? What about I've got an idea. What if he actually talked about policy?
What? No, he doesn't have any policy. Policy is good. We're going to get revenge on everybody I don't like. That's the policy.
That's the platform.
That's been their platform for a while. I just think it's funny because she's pointing out the big issue here is, like we were saying before, he's got to make up ground from the last election. He did not. Biden smoked him. Biden beat him by a lot. And so he's got to make up ground, and now he's alienating Nikki Haley's voters. He's alienating big parts of the Republican Party. He's now convicted, so the uninformed voter group, they might not know anything else about him or Biden or anything else because they don't follow politics, but they're going to know he's a convicted felon, and that's definitely going to sway some votes. And that was the question: does it help him? Does it hurt him? Well, here it is. This is Brian Tyler Cohen, and he's going to jump in and tell us a little bit about this.
It apparently did not take long for Donald Trump to feel the electoral impacts of his guilty verdict in his New York criminal trial. There have now been a raft of post-conviction polls, and the results are devastating for him. So we're going to jump in, but let me caveat this really quickly. We're in a moment of calcified polarization. It is next to impossible to get any movement in polls, which is why these polls are especially telling. First off, the Reuters Ipsos poll. 3 weeks back, it was a dead heat, 40-40. Now, Biden leads 41-39. In that poll, 10% of Republicans and 25% of independents say they're less likely to vote for Trump now. Even if half of that number revert back and ultimately go home to Trump, that is still a massive defection of voters away from Donald Trump, and could very well be the difference between a Trump win and a Trump loss. Another poll, Morning Consult. Last time, Trump was up 44-42. This time, Biden leads 45-44, a 3-point swing in Biden's favor. Worse, 15% of Republicans and 49% of independents said that Trump should end his campaign as the result of his conviction. Not exactly a ringing endorsement from his own base, nor the independents.
So, basically, he's got even more ground to make up now. Half of independents say he shouldn't even be running. 15%. He can't lose. He can't lose 1% of the Republicans, and 15% are already gone.
Right.
I don't see. It's still early. It's still several months before the election. He could pull something out, but right now, I said this earlier. I don't see how he could do it before. Now, I definitely don't see how he can do it. I think he's going to lose. I think he's going to lose by a lot. I think it's going to be embarrassing. So
I hope he's got a good therapist, because I think those daddy issues are going to come out big time for him.
Yeah, especially in prison. Oh, man. He could talk to his prison psychologist. Daddy didn't love me.
Bye.